What's up, my friends? Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to serve anyone that's looking to level up their life from their current situation. This show is dedicated to helping raising the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts out there, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. My friends, because holding it wide open is what we do. Being a great fucking person is who we are. And living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. In today's episode, we're going to be going deep. We're going to be talking about something very personal. We're going to be discussing how you can break free from your current circumstances. Because your past does not equal your future. And just because you've made some mistakes in the past, it doesn't mean that your future can't be bright. And see, I strongly believe in the underdog advantage. I strongly believe in making your mess your message. And I can firmly say this now, but it's taken me some time to admit that I was the creator of my own circumstances. It really was. And for so long, I blamed others for everything that had happened to me, for everything that had gone wrong. See, I used to hide my past. I used to hide my struggles. I used to hide all this that I'm about to share with you because I thought it used to make me weak. But the more I think about it, the more I believe that people who take ownership for their situations are the ones who truly hold the power to become whatever they want to become. It really is. Like, if you want to overcome the situations that's happened to you, you got to be willing to overcome your perspective around those situations. As you can either let the things that happen to you mold you into this fucking bitter ass person, or you can use those circumstances to change your perspective about those situations. And you can use all those bricks that they fucking threw at you so you can build a solid ass foundation, so you can get out of the ground, and so you can soar your life into new heights, heights that you never even dreamed were possible. And so today, I'm going to share with you some of my most personal stories so that you can see, my friends, that it's not about what happens to you, it's about shifting your mindset around what occurred to you. Because you look at change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. I have learned that, man. And it's such a simple phrase, but it's so deep. And so for years, I was embarrassed to say these things that I'm about to share with you. For years, I let myself get belittled by my own freaking thoughts, which led me to have an all-time low of confidence. It really did. See, I spiraled out of control into some of the darkest days that I have experienced in my life. And it's no secret that I love motorcycles. It really is. And I think for sure you guys can know it by now. If you follow me on social media, you see all my motorcycles. I love it. And despite all the accidents that I've had, and some of the accidents that are probably still out there to have, because you really push the envelope, if you ride to thrive, sometimes accidents happen. And it is what it is. It's part of the game. But I don't see myself ever stopping riding motorcycles. That shit runs in my blood. It really does. And I'm the youngest and the oldest at the same time. And let me explain that, because when I say that, sometimes people are like, what? You're the oldest and the youngest at the same time? Well, here's how it works. Through my mom, I have two younger brothers. And so it's my mom, my dad, and then my two younger brothers through my stepdad. And then through my dad, okay, so through my mom, I'm the oldest. But then through my dad, I'm the youngest out of seven. And these are all, I guess you could say stepbrothers, because they're all through my dad. So I'm the youngest and the oldest at the same time. I'll take a pause here because I want to make sure I don't lose myself emotionally. But at a very young age, things started to get really rough for me and my family. It really did. And I'm not saying that my struggles are any bigger than anyone else's out there. I'm here to show you that we all struggle, and we have the decision inside of us to use those struggles to become better. So at a very young age, I lost my older brother to a motorcycle accident. And that put like our family in a very dark place, which is weird because our family thrives on motorcycles. Like my father is like in his mid 80s and he still rides motorcycles. Like all my older brothers rode motorcycles. Like to this day, I still ride a motorcycle. I'll never stop riding a motorcycle. And so losing my brother at a young age really fucked up our family. It really did. Like it crashed us into emotional out of control. It really did, and that hurt us really bad. And so shortly after, and I don't know if it was because of the whole hardships of losing my brother and all just what that put into the family, but shortly after that, I was sexually abused. I was a little boy. Like I was only a little boy back then. But that shit will put a fucking this great amount of hatred in your heart that to this day I'm still working on dealing with that shit and still working on healing and I'm still working on becoming better. But yeah, I went through that. And it's what it is. And that's why I'm such a huge fucking supporter of helping to stop human trafficking. I really am. That's a cause that I'll always support. And the majority of those little poor boys and girls, and in some cases even adults, are being used as sex slaves. And that's fucking something that I am not down with at all. That shit is something that doesn't jive with me at all. All those motherfuckers need to be sent to be executed. Anyone who participates in that should be fucking executed. It's just like Andy says, send those motherfuckers to the wood chipper. Because I ain't down with that shit. So sometime after that experience, that you can imagine how dark that put me in my mindset. And sometime after that experience, I ended up losing my stepfather to imprisonment. Like, and my stepdad was the one who raised me. And so losing him for a span of about 10 years, like that brought even more hardships into my family. Like that forced my mom to like, we had to sell everything we had. We had to survive. Like she had to start working multiple jobs just so that she could put food on the table, so that she could feed myself and my two younger brothers, and so she could also send money to my dad while he was serving his time. Like that, those struggles were hard, and I saw my mom crying many, many nights. It was tough. And short for money, like being short for money, my mom ended up applying for government help because we truly needed it. It wasn't on some fake bullshit like you see nowadays. Oh, like, and so the government was like, all right, we're going to help you, but we need you to prove that Randy is not the biological son of his stepfather who's in prison. And so she was like, all right, yes, let's do a biological test. I have no problem with that. And that's when I found out that the man who I thought was my father the whole life, and I'm in my teens already, I was already driving at this point. The man who I thought was my father, who we all thought was my father, was my real dad, actually ended up not even being my biological father. Like to this very day, I have no clue who my biological father is. It's crazy. It's probably why I've had so much resistance up into the recent years of even starting my own family, because maybe like low key, I had these thoughts of like, maybe I can't be the father that I need to be, and I don't want my kids to grow up without a father. And now I'm like, nah, 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 nah. I turned all that situation around, and I'm striving hard to become the best man I can be, so that I can become a father of of great influence, of a father that their kids look up to, a father that everyone looks up to. And so I've been talking a lot of dark stuff, and having all this news into your life and growing up and being a young boy and going through all this shit will spiral you out of control like you wouldn't believe. And that shit will put you negative thoughts, and those negative thoughts lead to worse thoughts, and then you're like in this emotional like fucking hell. Like that's the best way I can describe it. And so bouncing from place to place, like because we were constantly on money shortages, like Like I even remember at one point we were even forced to move out on the street, and that's when my stepsister and my mom, I guess they talked, and that's which my stepsister, the wife of my older brother who passed away. My mom and her were very close, and she offered her house to us. And I even think I talked about this on a previous episode. And she opened her house to us, and my mom, myself, and my two younger brothers, we moved in there, and that's something I will forever be grateful for. Because when we had nowhere else to go, she opened her house up for us. And not knowing then, like, I was doing the best I knew back then, but I was going through so much struggles, through so much hardships. I had so much negativity up in here, so much fucking the hell that I was feeling in here. Man, I had no way of knowing how to cope with it. And I was hurting so bad inside. I really did. All I wanted to do was run away. All I wanted to do was hide. All I wanted to do was numb myself from all the fucking pain that I was feeling. But unfortunately, I turned into drugs. Like, I turned into a life of drugs, and I started with some soft drugs, but then I moved into some serious drugs. I wanted to hide from the world so bad. I really did. And the more I tried, the more I numbed myself, the more I got intoxicated. Like, the more that I tried to just get away, the more I tried to get faded, the more I tried to get fucked up. Like, the more the pain would come back even worse. Like, I never understood it, because I would go down these paths of like, oh, let me just numb myself, let me just numb myself. And then when it would all go away, it would all come back even stronger. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so that's when I hit my lowest point in life. And I think I talked about it actually on one of the first episodes. When I hit the lowest point in my life, and this is the huge reason why I do what I do now. It really is, because I want you to see that you can go through struggles and you could change your life around and you could become somebody. You really can. Because when you don't have hope in your life, when you don't have something to look forward to, it's very easy to become suicidal. It really is. And I was being extremely selfish back then. I really was. And trying to take my life on more than one occasion was probably the worst thing I could have tried to do. It really is. Back then, I hated myself. Like, I really did. And maybe I was chicken shit for not being able to go through with it. And back then, I hated myself for not being able to go through with it. I really did. But now being able to look back, I'm so fucking grateful. I'm so thankful to God, to the Lord, that He gave me the strength to fight another day. He gave me inspiration. He gave me a light that I was like, wow, there's something better for me. Like, there's something out there. There's a reason why I'm going through all this. Like, it really is. And so my lessons have taught me that people change due to either inspiration or desperation. And for me, it was out of complete desperation that I went on a mission to change the course of my life. I really did. But now, like, what I do is I try to inspire others so that people can change due to inspiration and not have to change due to desperation, because that shit sucks. But if you're going through it right now, know that there's better days ahead for you, my friend. It really is. And all those sacrifices, I started thinking about all the sacrifices that my parents made. They really did. They made a lot. Like, my mom left her entire family behind. She was number 15. 15 brothers and sisters. She left her whole family behind to come to America, to be able to give me the opportunity to have a better life. One that probably living back over there, I probably wouldn't have been able to achieve. And so that's when I got serious about my improvement. I got serious about my life. I got serious about what I fed my body. I got serious about the person that I wanted to become. I really did. And after even dropping out of college, because I dropped out of college, I went back and I enrolled and I started chasing this degree. Like, which is funny, because when I went and I started chasing a degree, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I originally started with accounting, and then I moved to construction management. That's what I have a degree in. But when I chose the construction management degree to pursue that, like, I didn't know that that's what I wanted. I knew that I loved to build things with my hands. And so my nephew helped me out. I was like, hey, I want to get my life in order. What do I need to do? And he kind of guided me, and we set out some careers. And I was like, arrange those based on salary. That's how it worked out. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go after that one. I seem to be good with my hands. Maybe I could build something big. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, when I get that piece of paper, I'm gonna show you that all the sacrifices that you went through were for nothing. You're gonna see that I'm gonna come out at the top. It doesn't matter all the shit that I've been through. You're gonna see that I'm gonna come out at the top. And so I went from barely graduating high school to coming and overcoming all these fucking hardships and to becoming the man that improves on himself. And I fucking graduated top of my class. From barely graduating high school to graduating top of your class and earning the outstanding graduate award. No one saw that coming. No one saw that coming. They really didn't. And I was even the president of the Construction Honor Society. Like the Honor Society. I went from barely graduating high school to Honor Society. This is crazy. And I was also the president of the ABC student chapter. I went all in. Like there was no other choice for me. Failure was not an option. I focused on becoming the best that I could. I started chipping away at all my flaws little by little. I started growing. I started changing. I started improving. I started doing whatever it was that I needed to do to become better. And it all started with doing everything little by little and focusing on day by day. How can I get better today? How can I get better today than I was yesterday? Every day, every single day. I just focus on doing that. And people see it like, oh, just a little bit? Yeah, because it creates sustainability. It really does. And when you could put some time to that sustainability, the results become unimaginable. I ended up climbing the corporate ladder from intern to operations manager in less than a fucking decade. Like I became successful. I was making money. I had made my family proud. I really did. I was able to buy a lot of the things that I dreamed of. I was able to buy a house. I married the woman of my dreams. But I was missing one thing. And I took a deep breath on that because I took a vow to never do this again. While growing and climbing the corporate ladder, I had abandoned my passion for motorsports. I became this corporate guy. And the more I became this successful corporate guy, the less fulfilled I was inside. And this is why it was so hard for me to pivot when I said, Mom, or I told my wife backed it up and she was okay. And when I told my mom, she was like, oh, what? You're gonna crazy? Because in her eyes, I was giving up everything I was giving up everything that I had achieved and all the sacrifices that she had made. In her eyes, I was giving it all away. I, that's what she thought for a while. And true, I'm not here to hide anything. Yes, it has taken a step back with my career to build this movement. Like things have gone a little backwards financially, and in the era of my life, I'm like, holy crap! And that has really, it has really challenged my ego. It has really got me out of being comfortable. It has really challenged me in ways that I didn't think of. It has really questioned what I think in here it's possible. You know, I went from building high rises to helping people build their lives. Like I was a project management professional. I still am. I still have the certification, but I went from being a project management professional, which we call that a PMP, and I became a rebel personal development coach. And I call it a rebel personal development coach because I'm never gonna stop doing what I love. And I preached for you to dive in, to lean in on your passions, but to be a good fucking person doing it. That is the whole mission of Live Your Life Wide Open. It really is. And things might be taking off a little slow, but I'll continue fighting for my people, for you that are watching. Because there's so many of us out there that have had challenging paths, that have things go sideways on them, that think that they can't improve. But guess what? You can, my friends. You really can. And in the years to come, everyone is going to understand why I took this risk and why it was such a needed next move to take. Like, for me, for my family, for my people, for my community, for all the fucking gearheads out there, for you, my friend, that you're watching. It really is. Like, this next move, this movement, this 10x jump that I'm working on to build a huge community of like-minded individuals that love the passion of motorsports, are all about becoming the best version of themselves. is what we're building here. It really is. And then, like, that's why it was challenging for me when it was a hard decision when I decided to pivot careers, because I was like, man, am I really giving up all this to chase this dream, to chase this vision? But then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, she made a lot of sacrifices, my mother, to put me in the position that I'm in, and I was able to achieve a lot of stuff. And look what I was able to achieve when I didn't even feel completely passionate about it. I just did it because of the money and because I was good with my hands, and I went all in, and I just focused. I fucking achieved massive success. And so imagine what I could do for the people when I do something that I'm truly passionate about, that lights my soul on fire, man. I can't wait to see where this next year, 5, 10, to see where this goes and where this grows, because it's going to be so great, man. And if you thought at one point throughout this whole thing that I'm telling you, like, man, why the fuck is Randy telling us all this shit? Like, I didn't have to share any of that. I wanted to share that with you because I want you to see that it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Like, and I want you to see that your past does not equal your fucking future. Just because you've had it rough, just because you've had some shitty mistakes, just because you had things that you're not proud of in your story, in your journey, in your past, your future doesn't have to be diminished because of your past. Instead, I want you to use all that shit that's happened to you and use it to become the hero of your own story. That's what I did. And that's what I'm inspiring you to do. Like, I'm here to show you that your past does not equal your future. And no matter how hard it is, and there's people out there that have had it way harder than me, and God bless them. But we hope that we show you that you could come out of that and you could be more. You could do more, you could be more, you become a better person. And the minute that you realize that your perspective around the situations that happened, about the things that you went through, the minute that you realize that you have the power in here to change it all, is the minute that you start growing. And here's the thing, if I could go back in time, and if I could change all those situations that happened, I fucking wouldn't. I wouldn't change a single thing, because every one of those hardships has molded me into the man that I am today. I am fucking stronger because of what happened to me. I am the man that has grown into, like, I'm not fucking ashamed of my past anymore, and I'm here to use my mess as my message. To show others that they too, to show you, my friend, you're there still watching, you're there still listening, to show you that you can turn your life around, to show you that you can be something out of nothing. You truly can. It's out there for you to get it. And so with that said, man, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the fucking ground, and I'm calling out all the motorsport enthusiasts out there who want to improve their situation. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you're my type of people, man. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's prove to the fucking world that they wish they were like us, man. Those of you who made it to the end, I want to say that you got yourself a win. I appreciate you for investing your valuable time into the Live Wide Open podcast. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others improve is the mission that God has tasked me with. We are driven individuals breaking the fucking stereotype and working on becoming the best that we can be. Join me on this journey while we help as many motorsport enthusiasts as possible to create the best lives that we can imagine. You can follow me on Instagram. My handle is Wide Open Randy. And if you felt any type of connection to this content that you just consumed, I ask that you please share it with a friend. Or man, if you want to take things to the next level, post this episode on your story so that so many more people could see it, because that's how our message really gets spread. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Till then, live life wide open, my friends. Peace.